Hi guys, Virginia here and I'm back with another 12 by 12 process video for today, and this one's for the Kitaholic Kit design team using the September kits. Yes, September kits. I'm in a bit of a brain fog. Oh, should I start again? No, I won't. I'm having a brain fog. It's been a long week at work. It's always a long week, but yeah. So I thought I would use this cut file today. It's from my cut file shop. It's called Heart Border. Really for no other reason than I had it cut sitting there. I wanted to use it on a project, but I wasn't sure. I hadn't really actually intended it to be a Kitaholic Kit one, but it was sitting there and I thought it's cut. I thought I might have a go using it, so that's what I'm doing. So originally I was going to do a mix of pink and green throughout this layout, and I end up just going for this green, and this is a great way to show you the versatility of a cut file. You don't have to back every single portion of the cut file to have a really cool layout, to have a really nice effect on the background, and that's exactly what I did. I didn't back the entire cut file. I just kind of focused on kind of 50% of it and then kind of faded it out, and I used the ombre that was in that green pattern paper as kind of a feature for those hearts. So where the green faded out, I stopped kind of backing the hearts, if that makes sense. I'm whizzing through it a bit. I've got this little stencil here. It's from Eco Park. I want to add some texture behind those hearts that weren't backed and around the portions that were. Just something really subtle. So I'm going white on white, and I've just got some texture paste and smushed it through those tiny little hearts on the stencil just around where that heart cut file is going to sit around the border of the page. And now I just want to add a tiny bit of colour, a really kind of soft green. So I've got some Prima, I think they are the Pastel Dreams watercolours, and just flicking a tiny bit of green around where that green pattern paper kind of sits on the cut file. And you can see what I mean there, how it kind of focuses on that left bottom corner with a dark green, like it does on the bottom of that pattern paper, and then it kind of fade out to the lighter colour. And I just kind of grab the hearts off the cut file mat and use them as a guide, and just cut my way up the pattern paper, if that makes sense, and I back them. I do want to add a little bit of pink in though, even though I didn't end up bringing it into the cut file. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this pattern paper here, the pink, and then of course that green as well as my first layer, and that's all I'm going to do for my photo. So yeah, I'm rather happy with that. I've just popped my cardstock to the side a little bit to dry, and I'm just going to pull out some bits and pieces to use. And I realised I hadn't used a lot of this stuff, but then when I bring it back in, the greens weren't quite doing it for me for this layout, trying to match it to the green that was on the pen and paper. But I'm sure they'll get used on another project. I do bring in some little bits, some little banners and stuff. But as always, there is a ton of product in the kit, so it's hard to try to use everything up in the projects that I do for the design team. So I'm not going to pop this cut file up on foam. I really didn't think it needed it. I liked the fact that the white cut file kind of touched the texture paste on the background. So I'm just adding glue kind of sporadically and popping it down onto the layer. And I feel like it's going to stick a lot easier with that textured background if I glue it directly to it. I'm having trouble with my ATG tape. It's not the ATG gun, it's the tape. I'm not using the normal tape that I use. So it's been a little problematic. Okay, so my cut file is going to sit down that bottom left hand corner where that green in the cut file is kind of predominant, and I'm just going to start embellishing now. So I'm just pulling out some bits and pieces, not really with the intent to focus on a lot of green, but just some really nice soft colours that aren't going to take away from the photo and the layout, I guess. But I think that the green in the background really does do nice things for the photo, because there's a lot of grass in the background and stuff on it. So again, just kind of sifting through bits and pieces. I pull out those butterflies, and then I end up taking them away, and then I end up putting them back very last minute after I'd stopped filming. So you will see them in the final shots. They do make it onto the layout, but yeah, that was kind of an afterthought. So I'm just kind of building a little bit of a cluster here. Nothing huge. I don't want to take away from that cut file and that texture paste. And this is kind of what my layout ends up looking like. Although I do take a lot of it off and try a bunch of things, it does actually end up going back to that kind of design. So I'm just flicking through these Kitaholic die cuts, seeing if there's any kind of green that'll work. I do like the idea of the bird, but it doesn't. It's just a cutout shape, and I wanted something with a little bit more detail. So I put out a few flowers, thinking I might be able to make them work, and some leaves. I didn't mind the idea of that word love, but then I've got that gold Good Times die cut down the bottom, so it didn't really. I suppose love good times works. Yeah, but for me, in the moment, it didn't work. I'm trying those little stickers. Decided I didn't quite like that one there, so I put my flower back, and that little a layered fabric heart as well. That was a really nice neutral to add to the page, and then again, it's another heart, like what's in the cut file. A couple of little die cut banners. I really like them layered under there, just adding a little bit of interest. And the Good Times die cut had like a big chunk of white in between the two words, so I'm just fussy cutting that out so it looks a little bit tidier. And you can see through it, see those banners a bit better underneath. A couple of little leaf sprigs underneath there. I just like the look of them. They're a nice colour. And I really like that little die cut tag that I've just popped up the top right hand side. I wanted to bring something up there, so I end up layering that in a little banner up there as well, and that kind of in my mind sufficiently brings a bit of attention, enough attention up there, because it is again so white. So I'm just flicking through the puffy stickers, and I found a little green phrase that I like the idea of. It's a rather monochromatic layout. There are some pops of pink and grey and gold in there, but for the most part it's really green, and I'm not particularly a green person, but I really like this one. I think it's probably the shade of green. But yeah, super easy layout. The cut file was super quick to back, because I didn't back the whole thing. Yeah, so I'm just going to go and glue everything down in place. Pop these little heart in place, my little die cut in there, my little tab, my little banners. I'm just going to glue them in. Like I said, it was a super quick layout, so I've left the entire process in. Yeah, just gluing down that little Good Times banner, popping it up with some foam, and that little puffy sticker. I decided to change my mind on it and move it. I end up popping it on one of those little hearts down there. There we go. Going to add some enamel dots just for some more pops of green. So I'm going to use all the green ones that I have. Just cut the excess off those banners there. And I'm going to add some light pink ones as well, just for a pop of that pink, just to break up the green a little bit. And then that's it for my layout. So I hope you enjoy the process. Hope you're inspired to give a cut file a go, but not back at all. I'd love to see what you come up with. But until next time, bye guys.